Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. We want to start on the daily chart first. This is what we take a look at, every day or so to get everybody on the same page, and especially for new viewers, very, very important. So Bitcoin is still in a bullish structure. Bitcoin is, however, still moving in this local range, but the structure of the move looks differently to the rally that we had between 1st of May and the 7th of June, and between the 20th of March and the 8th of April. This year, as you can see, probably is steeper in terms of, steepness of the rally. And also it provides us with a 5-wave move up, which the previous movements didn't do. So you can probably see that this is just a 3-wave move and it never made it here. And this was an even clearer 3-wave move. So this year was definitely 3 waves. This year could have been 5 waves with a truncated 5th. And this year is a clear 5-wave move. Therefore, this chart should be seen as bullish. Looking at this time frame, yep, we could get one more high in wave 1. As I said in previous videos, shouldn't surprise anybody. But we broke an initial trend line, which indicates that some sort of a top is in place. Now, if that is maybe an internal 4th wave, or if this is a wave 2 already, we will have to see. If it is a wave 2, $56,430 is support. Yeah, in that area between $56,430 and $62,320, that is the key support area. And mentioned it already in previous videos, as long as the price now stays above the 78.6 retracement at $56,430, my assumption is that we've bottomed and we are looking at higher. Up or up, basically, yeah? So higher either in an extension of wave 1, still possible, maybe to test again the upper boundary here of the range, or after a slightly deeper pullback in wave 2 before we start wave 3. So at the moment the pullback is still quite shallow, but it's already noticeable, yeah, this pullback. Below 56,430, I will assume that the 50,670 level will be support again, and that the larger 4th wave is still unfolding. That is currently not expected. I mentioned to you that this larger box is relevant support until we find the first 5-wave move up on the chart, and we've got that, and therefore I added this additional support zone, which allows for a, you could say, tighter stop, or at least allows us to understand the relevant area in which the price should turn around in case it goes down a little bit lower. But it shows us the limits, the boundaries for a wave 2 correction. That's really what it's about. So we know where a wave 2, if it happens from here, should turn around, and it tells us which price shouldn't be broken anymore. Now, can I predict if we get another high or not? No, of course not. Yeah, it's not crystal ball exercise here. This is a market analysis, which tells us this chart should be seen as bullish, but the overall message hasn't changed in the last 3 months. So since this correction started in March, the idea was that this correction is a wave 4. The idea is that this is the support region. Yeah, a lot of you who've been hanging around, I know it was difficult because, and still is, because this is a large range. So it's always boring, it's always difficult, it's always repetitive, because the message basically has been the same in every single video, that this is a wave 4 correction. Okay, of course, the microstructure in this correction changed a few times, but that is normal. Always happens in corrections. I think it morphed from an ABC to a WXY back to an ABC or something. But situation hasn't changed. Wave 4 parameters are clear, and I always encourage people to look for the stable elements of these corrections and stable elements of the chart, and this larger orange box was our stable element. Tactically speaking, buying down here was the best decision. Scaling out as we go higher, still holding on to some of that position, and then if we get another high, selling a bit more. That way you're prepared for another rally. Buying back if we dip into the yellow support area would be the plan for the pullback. It's quite simple. It's quite simple. So that way we don't need to worry if we get another extension or not. I think we could do, okay, because it's not going down impulsively. So it's worth to be prepared for that. But I think the statement is very clear. We're looking for higher or higher. Okay. Okay. So looking at the micro count, this here is the micro. I still have it with a question mark whether the wave 1 has topped. But communication has been that I'm watching for the white count, so basically lower here in the short term, until the price gives me a signal for another extension, and that signal could be a break above yesterday's high at 67,400. But overall, you know, this is a bullish chart because we have a wave 1, we have a wave 2, we have a wave 3, a wave 4, and whatever this is, I mean, it is a wave 5. The question is, how exactly is it subdividing? Do we get another high? I think it's likely, because I would never show you a wave count that's unreasonable. There is one count for another high, so we have to consider it. There is one count that we're already in the wave 2. Both are likely, but this is really only affecting the microstructure. And I think you should have a plan for both. It's very simple. Should the price go down deep in a wave 2, then the chart will be clear. And should we get another extension as well? And if we get another extension, then with more clarity, we can watch for a wave 2. But again, it's a bullish chart because we already have a 5-wave move up. The analysis tells us what are the support areas, what are the support levels. I've got an immediate micro support to which the price already reacted, here between 64,180 and 65,930. So price already reacted to this micro support area. Any break below the red line, and as I said, I will consider it more clearly a wave 2. This would be good confirmation. It also would be the neckline for a head and shoulders pattern. This red line at 63,000 what is that? 270. But not much more to add. If we get another extension, the levels are on the chart between 69 to 72k. It's quite straightforward. If we go down, 56,460 will be support. I don't have enough microstructure to really give a target for wave 2 yet. All I mentioned is pullbacks can be shallow, and I can really only leave you with that. You know, bullish chart. Yeah, to conclude, bullish chart. We might see one more extension. We don't have to. Even without one more extension, I consider this chart bullish. As long as we're holding 56,460, I'm bullish. Directly bullish. Pullbacks can be opportunities. There is no guarantee for a pullback, okay? And all of these are really things that are actionable, but what is really actionable are the levels. So you can measure, even if you want to buy now, you can measure your risk against 56,460, but you have to consider the price might dip that much. Now, if we get a bounce, you know, bear in mind, even if wave 2 is already unfolding, we might get overshooting B waves. I don't really have a very clear microstructure of this decline. I mean, it's possible that we've bottomed here in a smaller A wave. We're now working on wave B, but this is just microstructure. You can't trade with these micro counts anyway. In a correction, you need additional edges. But I would say at the moment, we just need to wait for the chart to clarify itself. We're now sort of in no man's land. I'd be looking forward to another high because then I would take a bit more profit. I'd also be looking forward to a dip in wave 2 because then I will buy more. I mean, at the moment, there's really not much to do because we're sort of in an in-between space, okay? Don't think there's anything that can be done here, in my view, from an Elliott Wave point of view. So we're just sort of in no man's land, you could say, okay? So we've just been moving sideways for the last few days, really. So it's about waiting for the market to give us a clear setup and to clarify, really. Yeah, but today we see a bit more upside momentum, and depending on how high it goes, I mean, at some point we have to say it's an extension. By the way, what I wanted to say is, if we go back to the daily chart, this here should take us sort of into the high 80k, 90k area on the daily chart, this next move up. But we can really only, let's say, clarify that further once we have clarity if we get another extension or not. Because if this wave 1 goes higher, then this 5th wave will also go higher. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.